This is Samanthaazira, and this is my experience with Until Dawn. Until Dawn may have been the biggest surprise this year thus far. I would describe this game much more of an interactive story movie, and it's done in such a way that it's almost guaranteed to capture your attention. Developed by Supermassive Games, a company from over the pond who hit this one out of the park. Well, almost. Not every game is perfect, but I do want to talk to you guys about my experience with Until Dawn. And don't worry, I'll make sure that if there's any spoilers in this video, that they're towards the end and I make it very clear. Until Dawn fits the typical tropes of a group of good-looking teenagers gathered around without adult supervision, hanging out and having a good time. That is, until the group of them play a fairly nasty prank on one of the twin sisters, causing Hannah to run out into the cold winter weather on a mountain that they had to basically take a lift to get to. It's okay, Hannah. I heard bears were nice. Oh. They end up on the side of the cliff, and well... and thus the main story begins. A year has passed and the sisters are missing, and you have been invited back by their brother Josh to, I guess, celebrate the anniversary? Anyway, not to get too deep into the story, in typical fashion, the party splits up for one reason or another, which always works out, right?
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Depending on your choices, some characters are not getting along with others due to past flings they may have had with one another, and typical girl behavior makes up for some early catfights. You spend the first segment of the game trying to settle in and do simple tasks such as turn on a generator, or playing as other characters trying to get to your location for the night. Throughout the game, you'll fall into segments of the game where you will be talking with what appears to be like a psychologist, and he'll often ask you a series of questions that seem to change some of the aspects of the game. I did not feel a large amount of influence from these segments, and often was waiting for them to mean something more later on, but you can discover for yourself what comes of these. Without getting too far into it, things go from mild pranks to shit hits a fan real fast. Some of the players may find that the gameplay is somewhat limited, as main character mechanics are that you can move around, make quick time events, and pick up things and investigate items around the game. So gameplay really relies more on the immersion of the story versus actual gameplay, which I find perfect for spooky season. I did, however, in the beginning of the game, before things got out of control, this game did do a good job of showing gameplay mechanics without it feeling too much like a tutorial. The beginning of the game does feel slow, and the transitions with some of the camera angles can be clunky at times, throwing off the immersion, but once you get into the main core of the story, things do start to go haywire, and this is when the mechanics kind of become obsolete just because of the immersion and the investment in the story takes over. You learn to actually care about the characters, and I think you might be surprised who you end up liking towards the end. The atmosphere of the mountain and the isolation really adds to the experience, of feeling like you really are separated from the world. Which adds to the experience of terror when you realize that you're not alone and you can't just get off the mountain safely. The use of music throughout the game has perfect timing, adding to any suspense or transitions from one scene to another, making it feel like that interactive movie. I think getting some well-known people to play the roles of the character really added a form of familiarity to the characters, but also made for some amazing voice acting, which kept me in the game. I'm not sure how many endings this game has, but I do think this game has a few playthroughs left under its belt. I would often forget throughout the game, more towards the end, that not doing an action was also an option, which I would assume is how you get the ending of killing all of the characters. I think in this game, it's earned a spot of a yearly play around Halloween to see if I'm able to discover any new endings and possibly explore the game a little further. I wouldn't consider this a scary game. Yeah, it does have some jump scares, but honestly I would consider it more of like a suspense game. Please take it from me, if you have not played it, go play it, and as of this video, it is included with the PlayStation catalog and is less than $20 on eBay for a physical copy. Alright, this is the spot where we're going to hit the spoilers. I'm going to talk a little bit about the end game, a little bit about the plot twist, and what I ran into. So if you have not played this game, I would go ahead and click off now. And for those who have, enjoy the rest of the video and let me know in the comments down below what you think of my thoughts at the end of the game. In my playthrough, I was able to save 4 of the main characters, and it was really cool seeing the ending where you get to see the police interviews of each character and what happened on the mountain that night. I find this to be such an amazing touch that helped tie in the ending of the game, and not just ending it with the house on fire and the helicopters coming to save you. I would have liked to see more from the characters post-game, but the game did what it was supposed to do with an amazing delivery. Because I enjoyed it so much, I will always want more. I had my suspicions about Joss at the beginning of the game, but after seeing him sliced in half, which wasn't my choice, I thought I just hit the wrong button, he was counted out. Later to only find he was playing a trick all along to get revenge for his sisters. He didn't know, however, throughout all of these pranks that he was doing, that there was another danger present throughout this entire time, and people were actually dying. This is what I liked about the game so much. They could have just stuck with the prank aspect of the game, but they took it a step further, and they added like a supernatural aspect, even involving one of the twins herself. Due to eating her sister's body in the mines after falling, which plot twist, she didn't die, she turns into a monster, which is one of the many on the mountain. This is kind of the premise of what you're digging up throughout the game, is you find out that if you eat a person's body, you become these like crazy monsters. I like that there were 2 stories happening. The story of what happened to the miners back in the day, and then the sisters, and then watching both of those stories blend together at the end is what might have been my favorite for this interactive story. So those are my thoughts of Until Dawn. What games are you guys playing this spooky season? Let me know in the comments down below. This game definitely took me by surprise, and I'm so excited that I got to play it and talk about it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. But don't forget, there's a spooky world waiting out there for you guys.
Next episode.
Hello, my friend. Welcome to the show.